Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Happy NBA Bit Monday, baby. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. We had some good basketball this weekend. A lot of good games, a lot of good stuff happening. Do me a favor, if you're listening on the podcast, leave a little review, huh? Maybe give us some stars. And if you're watching on the YouTubes, do me a favor, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. We got a fun one today. We got some business up top here. Just a quick reminder, right? We get the NBA Bit. You're here Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. live before lock returns at 5 p.m. Tonight we'll have some playoff best ball draft. Sorry, my mic's being weird. Some playoff best ball drafting. That's going to be happening this week as well. So we got another busy week. We're getting ready for the home stretch here. Okay, we got a third, maybe a little less than a third of the NBA season. Some playoff stuff coming into form. It's going to be fun. Who do we got in the chat here? We got Sneeps. Yes, Sneeps got 2 out of your 3 best ball drafts. I had a brutal day yesterday from best ball advancement. I had a bunch of second place teams just kind of die out. That moved from second place to third place. I think I finished with almost 20 third place finishes. Just real gross stuff. But whatever. We still got like 16, I think, through 16 or 17, something like that. DJP in the house. Let's go. Snoop Loop. Happy National Tortilla Chip Day. Yeah, there we go. Wet Like a Book in the house. Yeah, man. We had like 42% Emmanuel Quickly yesterday. So that opened the door for some dubs last night. However, we were so freaking close. Where did we finish? 7th, I think, 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that. We were very close. I think only like 2 points off. Mobley, man, there was an opportunity on a missed free throw late in the game where if Mobley got the rebound and then was going to get intentionally fouled, that might have shipped it for us. And then I believe it was like tipped to Max Strus. Strus got it, but whatever. Garen's in the chat. We got Stubbs here, Common Man, also podcast. Yeah, Regulator. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for being here this morning. Let's dive in. We got a busy day. We got a busy day of hoops. We're going to cover everything from the weekend, and we're going to start with the return of Luka Magic himself. That was a fun one from Luka. I was playing the Saturday night. Oh, Rowdy Rod in the chat. We were playing the Saturday night action on Underdog, and holy moly, I did not have enough Luka. The Lakers go in to Denver, and I believe it was their first win in their last, or their second win in their last 13 tries, something like that. Against Denver, that is. And people were saying like, oh, man, Luka's not very good. He's too fat. Luka here in 31 minutes goes 10 for 22 from the field, drops 32 points, 10 boards, 7 dimes. He had 4 steals and a block as well. He was plus 20. But I think the most impressive thing from the Lakers in this game, and again, this is a primetime national television game. They played defense, man. They held Denver, who's been rip-roaring, right? Running through the Western Conference here I think they were 9 of their last 10. And they just scoring buckets of points, right? Just buckets of points. And look at these, like the Jokic numbers are crazy in this one. Look at this. Ready? He only took 7 field goal attempts, got to the line 10 times, had 12 points, 13 boards, 10 dimes in 35 minutes. But just, a minus 11 out there. Jamal Murray, he had 19 and 6. You had Aaron Gordon, who actually had a pretty good night shooting the ball. He went 4 for 7 from 3. He had 24, 5 and 4, but it just wasn't enough. Rui had a great game. Rui looked like he got hurt, but honestly looked like my 40 and over league where he just like grabbed his back, ran to the bench, and then came back again. He finished the game at 21. LeBron had 25, 9 and 5. AR gave him 23 and 7. And the Lakers now 34 and 21. Creeping up here. And I guess it like begs the question, where do you put them? Where do you put them in the West, and what is their actual ceiling here? Because I'd mentioned this. I had mentioned maybe like a week or two ago after this trade was happening and the Mark Williams trade fell through. It's like, well, how do they defend these bigs? And I was like, I wonder if they start throwing LeBron on the 5 for like a couple of possessions, right? And that's what we saw in this game. They were just swarming. They were swarming the paint. They were like, fine, Aaron Gordon, if you're going to beat us with your corner threes, you can. But we're just going to attack. We're going to throw doubles. We're going to throw triples at Joker every time that he touches the ball in the paint. And it was guys like Rui, it was guys like LeBron, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Jared Vanderbilt, both played. Well, Vando actually only played 6 minutes. I thought he played a lot more than that. But Dodo had look at Dorian Finney-Smith, man. He only made one shot, hit 3 points, 4 boards, 2 steals. He was a plus 21 on the bench. Gabe Vincent, same thing, 3 points, but a plus 17 off the bench. And I don't know, man. I kind of think there might be some juice to these Lakers here. I think there might actually be a ceiling moving forward. I think it's going to be very matchup dependent, but you could say that for every single team outside of the Oklahoma City Thunder in the West. And right now, if we go over to the standings, that's the schedule. If we go over to that's stats, what is happening? If we go over to the standings here and just look at the West, we're not going to do the whole thing right now, but you see the Lakers now have jumped to the 4 seed with Houston kind of swooning. Yeah, they're 3-7 in their last 10. Lakers are 8-2. 8-2 in their last 10. They are now just 2 games back of not only the 3 seed, but the 2 seed. I'm going to go pull up Tankathon again, maybe to make Sixers fans feel better, but also to just look at the remaining strength of schedule. And let's look at those 3 teams of the Grizzlies, of the Lakers, and of Denver. Regulators said still taking Nuggets in a 7-game series. I am too. I think I am too. But I do think this just kind of made me think that it's a little bit I don't know, that there might be a little juice there. Now, the Denver has the second hardest remaining schedule. They got 25 games left. Look at this: 2 against the Thunder, 1 against the Celtics, 1 against the Grizz. The Lakers, right? There's 2 against the Lakers, 2 against the Rockets, 2 against the Pacers. Lakers, on the other hand, same thing: 2 against the Thunder, 2 against Denver, 1 against the Celtics. Bing Bong Boys, couple against the Rockets, 1 against the Grizz. So that, I don't know. And then let's look at Memphis with the 8th toughest schedule. So we're looking at these teams saying like, oh, there's these are the teams that are going to jump up. However, their schedules are so tough. Like maybe we actually see like the Rockets or the Clippers, who let's see how far down Rockets and Clippers are. I definitely passed them already. Are they middle of the road here? Why can't I find Houston? Oh, there's Memphis. Memphis with the 8. No, we already said that. Where's Houston? Oh, Houston's right there with 17. Where are the Clippers? Oh, there they are. Sick. Wow. So really tough schedule for the West. I mean, that's just because the West is a lot deeper, right? But anyways, really good win for the Lakers. I think that's a promising sign that they have a shot at, making a little bit of a run. I still think the West is going to go through OKC. What a hot take that is. But a really good win for the Lakers. And again, I think it just it makes us look at them a little bit differently. It adjusts the ceiling quite a bit, I think. And again, that might be more kind of like, to Regulators' point, that might be more of a 1-game sample size, right? Winner take all. And in a 7-game series, maybe it's a little bit different. But anyways, let's go to the East Coast. Let's talk about the Bing Bong Boys. So, I was very interested to talk about this team after the Celtics game, because if you just look at the weekend and you're like, oh my God, wow, DJP, who's your team? Who are you jerking off to, DJP? And already an OKC glaze. If you look at the Knicks, the Cavs game in a vacuum looks terrible, right? They lost by 37. I think that math checks out, 142-105 to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who had a pretty impressive weekend themselves. Something to note, though, the Knicks had played that game on Tuesday night against the Chicago Bulls, where it went into overtime. All of their starters played a bunch of minutes. And then on Thursday, they had another game. So this was the second end of a back-to-back where it was a stressful game. Or maybe they had played Chicago on Thursday and then Cleveland on Friday. I can't remember what it was. They were without Josh Hart in this game. OG Anunoby did return. Cleveland was on a back-to-back too, but they just played Brooklyn, so it wasn't too serious, But here we go. Look, like these minutes, it was kind of a gross stuff. This is the first time I think all year where all the Knicks played under 30 minutes. Brunson still at 26-4, Towns 23-7-4 in his limited minutes. But it was the Cavs that beat the hell out of him. 21-8-4 from Mobley. Mitchell had 27 and 26 minutes. I mean, it was just a shellacking. But whatever. You could be like, this is a schedule loss. They didn't have Josh Hart. OG's like first or second game back. Like, they were looking a little funky. But then you get to yesterday. And 118-105 Celtics win. And I watched this one start to finish. I don't even think it was that close. Like, I know they went on an insane third quarter, right? You can see they outscored the Celtics 39-25 in the third quarter. But at no point At no point was I like, oh no, here come the Knicks. Like, it just seemed like the Celtics were dominant from start to finish. And they had their full squad, right? OG played a full 35 minutes, so he's healthy. And one of the craziest sequences, Karl-Anthony Towns gets hurt, and it looks like a sniper hit him from like the fourth row or something, where he's just grabbing it. He's grabbing his knee, but he's walking like he's doing his best to hold in a dookie, right? He's just like, don't let it get out. Don't let it get out. And then, so, they're down 18, right? There's only like 4 minutes left. For sure, Thibodeau's going to let Karl-Anthony Towns sit the rest of the game. Nope, checks right back in. Right back in. I couldn't understand what they were doing there. Cat ended up he was having a terrible first quarter, most of the first half, honestly. And one of my pick'em bets was under 37.5 PRA. And I think that, and then he just went absolutely nuts in the third quarter. Brunson finished with 22, but Celtics are just too much, man. Porzingis and Jaylen Brown were joking that they were getting booed because they were missing buckets that would have given Tatum his triple-double, which I believe it would have been his second or third consecutive one. Tatum with 25, 10, and 9. He's been awesome. JB had 24 and 8. JB was a little bit of a weird game. Porzingis had 15 and 7. Derek White had 19, 9 and 7. He knocked down 5 of his 6 3-point attempts. And then Drew Holiday with 14 and 4. Celtics just look ready, man. They look ready. Regulators said, are you worried about Drew? Maybe Pritchard should get his minutes. No, I'm not worried about Drew. I mean, let's see how Pritchard, by the way, though, in 17 minutes, only had 3, 4, and 2 in that game. He slowed down a little bit, but he had they gave Peyton Pritchard a nice little feature there in that game at the beginning. Drew Holiday is 34 years old, right? The Celtics are 41 and 16. They are comfortably in the 2-hole here. I just think they're telling Drew to, hey, man, just, chill, be ready to go. Just be ready to go. Ready to go in the playoffs. So I'm not worried about Drew. I don't think the Celtics are looking for Drew to score 18 to 25 points a game or anything like that. That's what the Tatum, Brown, Porzingis trio is for. They want Drew Holiday defending their best guy, their best guard, that is. So I'm not really worried about it heading into the playoffs. I think Drew's going to be fine. And if Drew's your 5th best starter, I think you're starting from a pretty good place. And their bench is rounding out a little bit, man. Like Hauser comes in there, gives them a few extra minutes. Yeah, regulator. I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's the regular season, and I think Drew's even. I think the Celtics have even talked about this, where they're like, "Yeah, man, you're good, dude. Just wait till April, man. Wait till April." He's a vet now. He's a vet. No need to pump him. Hauser. 6, not a ton of bench points here. I just want to say Luke Cornett. I mean, I know he's been like running the running joke of the NBA bit, team hold, Sneeps, right? Luke Cornett, like what's his projection, all that stuff. Luke Cornett legit has been a nice piece. I feel like he's going to get paid this offseason. He's not going to be your starting center, but to come off the bench, give you 14 to 22 minutes. Like, who would you rather have right now as your backup center, Luke Cornett or Andre Drummond? Let's think of some other backup bigs. Luke Cornett or Jalen Smith. Let's pick a good team. Luke Cornett or DeAndre Jordan. Luke Cornett or Kenrich Williams. I feel like Luke Cornett, you're taking Luke Cornett. Is Luke Cornett the best backup big in the league? Take to Reddit. Anyways, good win for the Celtics. But I do think, like in the same way that we were talking about the Lakers' potential ceiling in the playoffs, I don't really love what I'm seeing from New York. And, again, 0-5 against the Cavs and the Celtics so far, 0-7 if you include the Oklahoma City Thunder. If we go look at the standings on the east side of things now, the top half anyways, right? The Cavs are comfy. Cavs get a 6-game lead. I don't see the Celtics even trying to catch them. I think they're just like, fine, we're in the 2 seed now. Knicks are 4 games back behind the Celtics. I don't think they had their chance to catch them. I don't think it's happening now. And then but the Knicks are kind of comfy in that 3 seed here, with a gap between a 4-game gap between the Pacers, and then it's a half game behind the Bucks are behind them, and then a game and a half behind the Bucks or the Pistons. So this is your 3 through 6. I don't see the Magic going on a huge heater to catch the Pistons. Detroit's been playing great. We'll talk about them later. But this looks like some form of this is going to be your 3 through 6. And it feels like we should have a Knicks versus Pistons series and a Pacers versus Bucks series. And I think we're going to see some people lose jobs. Because if the Knicks right? Luke Cornett. Oh, hold on. The chat's Cornett over Jericho Sims, Cornett over Jackson Hayes. Yeah, there we go. Regulator. Hell yeah. But I kind of think we might see people lose some jobs. If the Buck, and it might be players, it might be coaches, but two of these teams, two of those four teams are only going to play one round in the playoffs. You saw the Knicks, who, everybody kind of agreed. The only reason the Pacers got by the Knicks in the playoffs was because the Knicks were just obliterated with injuries. And there's two things that I would say about that. One, what's to say that won't be the case this year, where you have Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby all playing like 40 minutes a game? Everyone's like, well, once Mitchell Robinson gets back, and I don't know, like, Mitchell Robinson is nice, but I don't know if he is, the savior. Prayers up. I don't know if that's who he is. And so, if the Knicks only play one playoff series, or if the Bucks only play one playoff series, like the team that's comfortable right now is Detroit. They can't believe they're here, right? So like they could get swept in the first round of the playoffs. Nobody's mad at that. Nobody's getting mad if the Pistons get swept in the first round. But if the Bucks and the Knicks get bounced in the first round, or even the Pacers if they get bounced in the first round, I just think that there's going to be some tough love, some tough convos that are happening there. But the East to me, like, again, too, if we're thinking about the playoff best ball, it's hard for me to get excited about any team that's not the Cavs or the Celtics right now. And the Cavs we're going to talk about. I know we talked about their Knicks game, and we'll talk about their second game against the Grizzlies in a little bit. But those I have a tough time finding a scenario where one of those teams don't come out of the Eastern Conference. And Nez was talking about this yesterday, but I kind of think that. Again, it's just hard to get excited about the Knicks going on a run with how expensive they are from like a draft capital perspective to make a deep run here. And then, we'll look at the bottom of the East in a little bit, but yeah, just some dog shit stuff down there. All right, let's go talk about last night's game, the last game of the weekend, OKC and Minnesota. Fun little fact, these two teams got on a plane and flew from Minnesota to OKC, and they're running it back tonight. OKC won this one 130 to 123. You saw Minnesota. It looked like this game was over. OKC had a 12-point lead. I think it ballooned up over 20 at some point early in the second quarter. And then Naz Reid and Ant-Man went off. They outscored 40 to 26 in the second. And then OKC reestablished dominance in the third. And then they cruised to victory. One like weird moment at the end of the first half. Anthony Edwards and Naz, like I was saying, were on this heater to give themselves a lead. And then J-Dub I think it was a 5-point lead for for Minnesota. J-Dub knocks down a half-court shot at the buzzer, makes it a 2-point game, or a 3-point game, 2-point game. And then the Thunder just came out in the third quarter and said curtains. Regulator said Pacers could get hot, but not sure when Halliburton would be the best player against any team. Yeah, I agree with that. But man, the Pacers have been playing really good basketball. If you pay attention to the last 2 months of, honestly, you just take away that first month of the season, the Pacers have been really, really good. But in this game, Chet Holmgren played 28 minutes. He had 19 and 4. SGA again, man, 37, 8 and 8, had 6 stocks, ended up with 71 underdog fantasy points. Caruso and Aaron Wiggins both gave him some double-digit scoring off the bench. Caruso plus 18, wild stuff. No Rudy Gobert in this game. Mike Conley did play, however. Naz Reid had 22 and 11. Ant-Man 8 for 21 from the field, another high-volume night. He had 29, 10, and 7. I mentioned they play again tonight. The Timberwolves, man, are favored by I think it's 12.5 or 13.5 tonight. So if you're out there drafting, this could just mean it's a back-to-back and they're on the road now. But the line yesterday, I think, was 7.5 or 8. And for it to jump 5 points just because the game's in OKC feels like a lot. I wonder if we see no Mike Conley tonight. Something to pay attention to. Also, shout out Jalen Clark, the rookie, in 18 minutes was pretty solid. He had 14 and 4. Thought he had a good game. But yeah, good dub for OKC. They just continue to cruise. Minnesota, got hot for a little bit, now coming back to earth. Tesla said, glad that, yeah, whatever you got to do to talk yourself into Brandon Ingram, baby. Whatever you got to do, man. Whatever you got to do. But anyways, yeah, good dub for OKC. Let's bounce around the league. Let's get to some of the rest of the stuff from yesterday. Warriors have been on a little bit of a heater, right? So they beat Dallas in this game. Dallas, who, is having to fight tooth and nail to just get every W that they can while they are so shorthanded. PJ Washington thankfully returned this weekend. He had a good game on Friday, but not enough on Saturday. And Steph Curry was just incredible in this game. He like 30 points, 12 for 20 from the field, knocked down 3 triples, had 7 dimes as well. Jimmy Butler continues to put up these kind of lines, 18, 5, and 3, stuff like that. Pod God, Brandon Pajemski, by the way, who was very disappointing. Our best ball bags were all hurting for quite some time. 17 and 13 in this game. He's now strung together probably like 3 good weeks of basketball here. Moses Moody in the starting lineup. Thank you, Steve Kerr. He had 14 in this one. Draymond, 13, 6, and 4. Golden State wins this game against Dallas. Every game is going to be so important down the stretch here for all of these teams because of how tight the Western Conference is. However, the Phoenix Suns are abstaining from the play-in race and have decided to pack it in, it appears. Let's go get this other Golden State game. Steph Curry hit the Sacramento Kings with a night-night in the third quarter. That's how ugly it was for the Light the Beam bros. In the third quarter, just the disrespect. Steph in this one had 20. Moses Moody again with 22, Pod God 21 and 5, Jimmy Bucks again 17 and 7. So the Warriors go 2-0 on the weekend. You look at the standings over there where Golden State is. They are now 6 and 4, winners of 3 in a row. They are just a half game back behind not only the Mavericks, but the Timberwolves, and a game and a half back behind the Clippers, who let's actually go to the Clippers right now, who dropped the game last night. Clippers rested Kawhi Leonard in this game, so I'm assuming Kawhi plays tonight. But the Pacers, again, we're talking about the Pacers getting hot. They smoke them 129-111. This never really got close from the beginning. They just kind of ran away with it. Big Z, Zubac had 22 and 6. Hashtag hard on 31, 11, and 7. And again, no Kawhi, so and no Norman Powell in this game either. Powell's missed a couple of games since the All-Star break. Spicy P had a double-double, 12 and 12, but it was Hallie night, 29-12 with 3 steals as well. He continues to cook at home and be mid on the road, but a good win for the Pacers. Tough loss for the Clippers, who are now seeming like, the Clips are slowly falling back here. And it really does change the dynamic of the last couple of weeks, because the Clippers have now opened the door for these teams like the Timberwolves, like the Warriors, and to a lesser extent, like the Kings and Mavericks, to hang around and potentially play their way out of the play-in. And you've heard Steve Kerr and a lot of media outlets talk about this, but how, the goal was to get the Warriors to a 6 seed, get them out of the play-in. And then you look at, that could mean playing the Lakers in the first round. That could mean playing the Rockets or the Grizzlies in the first round. I think, getting a Denver Nuggets team, if somehow Denver finished in the 3-hole. I don't know if that's what you're looking for if you're Golden State, because I do think Denver would kind of dismantle them. But all of a sudden, you could see them getting into a second round. Let's do Rockets now. The Rockets had a weird weekend too. I forget if they played Friday and Saturday or just Saturday. Let me just check the Friday schedule quickly. Can't remember if Houston had 1 or 2 here. Okay, Rockets beat the Timberwolves on Friday. So Timberwolves, again, 0-2 on the weekend. They won this one 121-115. You got 35 from Jalen Green. Fred VanVleet is still missing time, but they did get Jabari Smith Jr. back, who had an awesome game on Friday and then was rough on Saturday. Saturday, they lost to the Utah Jazz, and it was Keontae George night, baby. Off the bench, he played 29 minutes. He went 10 for 17 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3, had 30 points, 8 boards, and 6 dimes. Utah was cooking as they were shorthanded, too. No John Collins in this game, who has already been ruled out for tonight. No Sexton, no Clarkson, all the things. Rockets. Rockets are in a weird spot here as they have slowly fallen down in the Western Conference. They are, 3-7 in their last 10. They need him. They need freaking Fred VanVleet back bad just to have an adult in the room. But to Regulators' point, who falls further? They have a 4.5 game cushion with 25 games left. So it's kind of hard to see, foresee them falling that far down. The Clippers, however, are in a trickier spot, right? We mentioned they have the 6th hardest schedule the rest of the way. Clippers still have 2 against the Cavs, 1 against the Thunder, 2 against the Knicks, 2 against the Lakers, Rockets, and Grizzlies. So with the 26 games left, I feel like they have their shot of falling out of the the top 6 is real. Again, a game and a half separates 6th from 9. 6-9. Nice. The Kings here hanging on too, and the Suns. Let's do the Suns right now. Suns they are now 3 games under 500. Let's start with yesterday's game against the Toronto Raptors. It was funny. I was doing my underdog research for yesterday, and I was looking at the spreads to try to get a feel if anybody was going to sit, and it opened up with the Raptors favored by 1.5. And I was like, ding, ding, ding. KD or Booker's going to sit. Line ends up flipping to Suns minus 1.5. But guess what? Vegas was right all along. The Suns, man, just vibeless. They suck. The Suns are no good. Bradley Beal had a great game. He moved back into the starting lineup. He dropped 30. Booker had 31, 8, and 4. KD had 6 stocks, which saved his fantasy night, but only 15 and 4. Only got up 15 shots in this game. Big Dick Nick Rich was Big Dick disappointing. Bull, that run is over. I mentioned, with a blink of an eye, the Bull run was going to be done. He only played 7 minutes in this game. Grayson Allen and Tyus Jones made up most of the bench minutes. The Raptors, though, IQ day. Emmanuel Quickley saved the bag for me last night. Emmanuel Quickley was awesome. In 30 minutes, knocked down 5 triples out of his 7 attempts. He was a plus 29, finished with 23, 8, and 6. Scotty Barnes at 29 and 4. RJ had a solid game too, 23, 7, and 6. And then the Boucher, he had 23 and 10 off the bench. No Jakob Poeltl yet, although I was reading a report yesterday. It sounds like he is close to returning to basketball action. Toronto's 18th win of the year. Suns dropped this game, and then I believe it was on Friday, or was that on Thursday? They played, was it the Spurs? No. Did they play on Saturday? They played... That wasn't a back-to-back for Phoenix, was it? Oh, it was. They played... No, I'm sorry. They beat the Bulls. I was confusing it with the game on Thursday when they lost to the Spurs. Suns won this one 121-117. Good KD game. Also, great Giddey game. He had 24, 10, and 8 in this one. KD had 27, 10, and 5. Book had 29. You had Bradley Beal 25, 6, and 4. So there you have it. That's the Phoenix stuff, man. The vibes are so bad. Who is better, Suns or 76ers? No, thank you. I'm not picking that one. Generational hater in the chat said Rockets beat the Clippers 3 times this season, and none of them were close. Yeah, I'm not saying one is better than the other. We were just looking at the schedule stuff. IQ weekend. Yeah, IQ is great, man. Love it. Kids post-game. Was it supposed to say KD? Post-game comments were glowing about Toronto as a city and fans. Love that. And Raps only have 4 games left against above opponents 500. Well, yeah, maybe they make a run. Let's do the 76ers now as we're talking about that. More reporting, more erroneous reporting. Not erroneous, but just like their news dumps are hilarious, man. But it sounds like Embiid's going to be done. And it sounds like, honestly, they're just going to go full tank. They lost to the Nets on Saturday, 105-103 on a fun game winner. It looked like that Brooklyn was going to run away with this. Philly fights all the way back, take the lead a couple of times in the fourth quarter. And then Nick Claxton, who, if you guys remember, hates the 76ers, gets a touches one down there to win the game 105-103. Sixers now 16 games below 500. They can't make up any ground on the play-in, even though the Bulls keep losing, so do the Sixers. And then reports come out that Embiid and the 76ers are weighing their options, whether to go under the knife or just rest him the rest of the way. It makes no sense to continue playing these guys. It stems back to a playoff series. I think, was it last year the Sixers played the Nets, or 2 years ago they played them in the first round? There's a lot of beef. But yeah, there's no reason for them to keep playing these guys. These guys, the Sixers suck. No vibes. Just like rest Embiid, get him healthy. And it is. I agree with Tesla. It's just sad at this moment. It just feels like the time has passed, or the moment has missed him. And it doesn't feel like we're going to get that Embiid that we've seen before. And it's a bummer. But now, going into tonight's game, he's questionable. I assume he doesn't play. Maxi's questionable. I'm assuming he doesn't play. Paul George has just been bad, so even if he does play. But the thing with the Sixers is, and I know everybody's talked about this, their first-round pick this year is top 6 protected. So there's no incentive for them to, go try to get the 10 seed right now, really. Just, tank it out. Hopefully you finish in the top 6 or OKC gets a W out of it, right? But we'll have to wait and see. I picture the Sixers being done for the year here. Let's see if we got anything else that we need to hit on from Saturday. We talked Lakers Nuggets. Trailblazers beat the fucking pants off the Hornets. We're not going to talk about that. Anything else from yesterday we missed? We kind of did. Oh yeah, this incredible performance from Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons. We got to do the drop. We got to do the drop for Detroit basketball because they've been on one.
Detroit basketball. Detroit basketball. You
Love to see it. Detroit's on a heater, baby. Detroit's on a heater. Generational Hater says, can you remember team situations as bad as the Sixers? No, I mean, both of these guys, it's not only, Brooklyn Nets, after they went, traded all of their picks for like Darren Williams and PG and Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. That was pretty bad there down the stretch. But the vibes in both of these teams are just incredible. That's true too, Matty Harrison. Cade is playing his way into that third-team All-NBA. Totally agree with it. But anyways, look at this. Look at this game from Cade Cunningham. 38 points, 12 dimes, 3 blocks, a steal, 7 boards. This is efficient as fuck. 14 for 24 from the field, knocks down 7 of his 10 threes. Just great stuff. All 5 starters in double figures for the Pistons. They're now Tobias had 12. Asar Thompson, only 17 minutes, 5 personal fouls, but he had 14 points in those 17 minutes. You got Timmy, he had 18. Duren, 13, 6, and 5. You got Beasley, who knocked down another 6 triples. He had 24 off the bench. You got Schroeder, 16 and 7. And listen, Dennis Schroeder, I know, bounced around on, I think he was on 19 teams this season, but this not a bad spot, not a bad landing spot for Detroit. They, could use a backup ball handler, right? So that Cade doesn't have to play 39 minutes a game, however he did last night, but just really impressive stuff for Detroit. What's up, Hurley? Hurley, go back after this is over. Go back to the beginning of the show. I talked the first 10 minutes are all Lakers, baby. All Lakers. Detroit now moves to 31 and 26. We are almost in March, and the Pistons are 5 games over 500. Praise up. For the Hawks, Trae Young was pretty solid. He got to the line 15 times. He had 38 and 13, 7 turnovers, though. Dyson Daniels, he had 4 steals and a block, also had 24, 6, and 5. Georges Niang, the minivan, he had 27 and 5 off the bench. Another tough loss for Atlanta, who conversely had won 5 games under 500. So Detroit, man, just moving along. They're not even close to the play-in, just cooking. Orlando finally got a W over the Wizards here. They're almost 500. Offense, man, is just ugly, ugly shit from Orlando. Franz had 23, 7, and 5. Paolo, 19, 5, and 5. But it is just trudging through a swamp trying to get buckets for this team. They are so desperate for Jalen Suggs to be back. And I know that he's getting closer and closer to questionable. He's been questionable, closer and closer to returning. They're so desperate for Jalen Suggs to come back. They really are. They really, really are. Generational Hater said, is Cade going to be the next Harden in terms of stat production? Maybe, man. He's been awesome. He's been awesome. And I'll be curious to see how Detroit handles this offseason and what kind of moves they make. But listen, the Knicks defense is so bad right now that if, Cade could just light him up. They're going to have to throw somebody like OG on him or Mikal Bridges. And I still think Cade's size could give those guys, and his speed could give those guys problems. But either way, this is just, gravy, because Detroit's already ahead of schedule, right? They've got to be pretty happy with where they at. I do think Detroit's an interesting team to think about for the playoff best ball. I think there's something to think about there. Let's go look at the standings here just for a full schedule here. So full picture of it, excuse me. We talked about the top 4, and then again, the top 6 really is solidified. Magic aren't coming back into that. And then this feels like I don't see the Hawks winning 2 playing games. Trae's done some weird stuff. The biggest question mark in the Eastern Conference, the Brooklyn Nets are 7-3 in their last 10. They trade away so much just to get their picks back so they can tank. And now they are 7-3 in their last 10, and they are a half game back from the 10 seed. The Sixers, again, as we mentioned, they are 1-9 in their last 10. So they don't even have to shut everybody down to tank. They suck all on their own. Raptors, we mentioned, picked up a W. They are now 18-39, 3-7 in their last 10, and then Hornets and Wizards. The West is where it gets funky, though. OKC, they're far and away the best team, 9-1 their last 10, 46-10. The Grizzlies and Denver both tied at 37-20. And then the Lakers and Rockets are both 11.5 games back, 2 games back from the Grizz and Nugs. And then the Clippers are 3.5 games back behind the Rockets. And then, as we mentioned, Wolves, Mavs, Warriors, Kings. But it's curtains for the Suns, man. I know they're only a game and a half out of the 10 seed, and the Kings are not like in the best spot right now, but I don't like it. All right, so for tonight's action, here's what we got. We got Clippers and Detroit Pistons. Both teams on a back-to-back, but Kawhi didn't play yesterday. I assume he does. Denver at Indiana. Indiana's on a back-to-back. Denver hasn't played since Saturday. Nuggets are 5.5-point favorites, but this one should have some goodness, fantasy goodness. 246.5 total. I feel like Halliburton goes off tonight. Chicago and Philly, fucking kill me, man. Tickets as low as $5. Let's go Philly. Wizards in Brooklyn. Somehow the tickets are more expensive in Brooklyn and we got to tweet this out, actually. That's hilarious. Somehow tickets more expensive for Washington, Brooklyn than they are for Chicago, Philly. Then you got Minnesota, OKC. Tickets as low as $8. Wow. But yeah, that OKC line at 12.5. Miami and Atlanta, both teams on back-to-back. I didn't talk about Tyler Hero. Just real quick, let's do a hero drop because he went insane last night. He was awesome. I think he got up to 60 underdog fantasy points. Where's our hero? There it is. There we go. Fun little stat from our guy, Generational Hater. Cade at 23, almost 26 points a game, almost 7 boards a game, and almost 10 dimes a game. Harden at 23, basically the same, 26 points a game, 5 boards and 6 dimes. Wow. Although Harden at 23, was that before he got to Houston? Because how old was he when he went to Houston? Because I feel like we need to look at his first Houston's year. Anyways, we got Minnesota at OKC, the rematch, Portland and Utah, and then Charlotte and Sacramento. The late games, tough night of late games. So that is tonight's action. Real quick, I'm going to pop over to SORARE and then Underdog just to see how we made out this weekend. Didn't do great in SORARE. We had, the Jokic performance was tough, right? He didn't really have that good game, even though he had the triple-double. Hold on, let's change the media assets here before we share screen. He didn't really pop off too much, so that limited the champion stuff. And a reminder, live before lock tonight at 5 o'clock, which is fun. But this was the performance over the weekend. So our rare champ, yikes, 78 points away. Kawhi didn't play, so that hurt. Sengun was nice. Vassell was pretty disappointing. The other one here, again, Al Horford. This is just leftover, so who cares? This one came in 40th. We had Zion with 54, Poole with 37. We got the Ryan Rollins night, right? He had 42, Big Body with 45, Beware the Sohan with 29, and then we had a classic one. So tough night over on the SORARE streets. Or the tough weekend on the SORARE streets. But that's okay. And then let's go over to the dog app here. Let's go over to Underdog. We'll finish out with a pick'em here. I'll show you the results. What do we have? Yeah, last time was a fun one. We had this lineup came in 8th place right here. We had wow, my highest scoring one was without Cade, which is pretty impressive. We had Trey, Mobley, Devin Booker, Tyler Hero, IQ, Bradley Beal. That's a fun one. And this one came in 16th with Cade, Zion, Dame, Hero again, RJ, IQ, man. IQ was awesome last night. All right, let's build a pick'em. What do you guys like for tonight, huh? Any good takes for tonight? What kicks are we rocking for Hoopsense? Yeah, we've been doing just the white Nikes. Yeah, but we gotta fire up another one soon. Oh, that was Harden's first year. All right, thank you, Generational Hater. All right, anybody got some takes for today? I think I'm gonna like the Halliburton stuff. I'm gonna like it. Let's bump up his PRA. Well, does he have fantasy points listed? Let's bump up his PRA here. Let's say 40 PRA. That's 2x. That's kind of fun. Hartenstein points, Denny assists. I like the Hartenstein stuff. Chet's on a back-to-back. Oh, they don't have it, huh? They don't have. I wonder if I wonder if they think something's weird with that line. I like the Denny assists. You could talk me into Simon's points too. Maybe we run those together. Denny 3.5. Let's run Simon's points here. 21. Let's do that. That works well. That's 11x here. We got Halliburton there. Yusuf starting tonight if desperate. Actually, Nurk points, rebounds, and assists was at 16. Okay, it went up 1. Let's do that. There we go. It's a 20xer basically. Let's do it. 17 to win 325. Why not? Why not? I'll share this in the chat here if anybody wants to tail along. Of course, not financial advice. And then let's go look at, so the best ball run out was kind of tough. We ran into some brutal spots here. A lot of third place finishes. We had some pretty high scoring ones though. Like this one finished with 14,585. We got a lot of Harden Cade hero squads that got through, but I think this is actually pretty live. I think you're going to see Keontae like really have some run here at the end, but it's got Harden Cade hero. We got Scoot in there, Keontae, and then the ghost of Ben Simmons. We also have Yasan Tatum. I like the Kawhi stuff, like getting Kawhi through, I think is kind of interesting. Tobias, Trey Murphy, we got Wiggins, and then Isaac and Connect. And then 3 bigs. We got Sengun, Turner, and Onyeka. So I think this one has some legs. This one's another Trey Cade build, which I think is fun. Trey and Cade, but then it's like Levine, Ivy, who's hurt, CP3. But LeBron, Randall, if he ever comes back, you got Denny, Eason, Sohan, and then Triple J. The Ayton injury sucks, but we did handcuff him with Klingon and then Draymond Green. There was a couple other ones I wanted to see that I thought were kind of fun. This one had so Cade, Bane, Poole, Keontae, and then you got Schroeder and Powell. This for wings, we got Barnes and LeBron with Tobias, Sohan, Isaac, and Jalen Wilson. And then Kat, Zubac, and Sar. That's okay. Don't hate that one. We got a Cam Thomas team. If he ever comes back, that's kind of fun. I don't think he will, but that's a fun one. Let's see. We got a lot. Basically, all my squads that got through were Tatum. This one sucks because Jalen Johnson's on it. So this one like limped in there. We got a Jokic, Khalil Ware, and I should note Nikola Jovic broke his wrist over the weekend, which sucks, but is good for Khalil Ware bags. This one's kind of fun. Fox, Harden, Pod God. We got Shaden Sharp, Nembhard, Bub, whatever. Brandon Miller, that hurts. And then Jimmy Butler, Keegan, Trey Murphy, Khalil Ware, and then you got Jokic in there. Yeah, that's not going to do it. And we had one more Khalil Ware one with a Harden, Giddy, Poole, Hero, Simons, and then Tatum, Siakam, Miles, that piece of shit, Bridges, Neesmith, and Ware, and then Duran, Pirtle, Gafford, and Onyeka. I was talking about Magi, who in the Magi, by the way, went out and secured first place in that contest last night, but shout him out. But just kind of saying that if you don't have an elite big, it seemed like to go get your 4 bigs, go get 4 of them. There we go. Let's get Cam Thomas back. I don't have him from the top of my head. I haven't dived in yet. I think figuring out the San Antonio stuff would be my guess. I don't even know how many games people have this game week, but San Antonio stuff. Let me just look at the schedule quickly. We'll see if we can get something. Let's see. I don't know. It's actually a lot of the same guys. Chet Holmgren, Klingon again, but it's like hard to figure that out. Jimmy Butler again. Jimmy Butler's cap's still pretty low at 28, which is really nice. So Jimmy Butler probably the key to success this game week. What's a U.S. city you'd like to visit for the first time? Albuquerque. I'm trying to think of some other city. I've been to a lot of cities back in my comedy days when I was traveling a little bit more. A city that I haven't been to. Yeah, it's a lot of like the Southwest. I feel like I haven't been to a lot of Southwest cities, but I've been to most of them, man. I've traveled a lot. I'm old. Yeah, name a city you think I should have answered with Boston Base. I've freaking been to them. Yeah, Breaking Bad. That's what I was thinking, Regulator. A lot of TV shows. I would like to do it like a Santa Fe. Something like that would be nice. I've never been to Sacramento. Trying to think of some other. I can't think of any. Boise. I like that you're like out on Albuquerque, but you're like Boise. I've never been to Jackson Hole. That's not really a city, though, is it? Oh, you know what? I've never been to Park City in Utah. That'd be cool. No, I've done Charlotte. I've done Charlotte a bunch. I used to go to Charlotte all the time. for not all the time, but I used to go like every year for a while. Asheville is dope. I love Asheville. There you go, Garen. I've never been to Lincoln. Nebraska. There we go. I guess like when I was at USF, I'd go to big college football games. But that would be fun to do like a college football thing. Baltimore. I've been to Baltimore. Baltimore's nice. I do like Baltimore. I feel like Baltimore gets a bad rap. I like B more. I went to Camden Yachts. But yeah, Asheville's a good one. Charleston. I think Charleston's nice. Oh, are you really? That's cool, Boston base. I went to a UNC game. I think I went to a UNC game. I feel like actually Kelsey might have been with me. I think when I was down to the Raleigh Comedy Festival, I think we went to a UNC game. Savannah. I've been to Savannah. Savannah's nice. Savannah, low-key a good St. Patrick's Day location. I don't know if people know that. I'm trying to think of some other Midwest cities that I haven't done. Like I would do some more Midwest action. Anyways, that was a good question, Boston Base. Normally you just put dog shit into the chat, but that was a pretty good starter question there. That was good. You could have been an orientation leader or like a youth pastor, maybe. That would have. All right, dudes, we're gonna call it there. 15K up top, by the way, for Underdog. If you're getting in those streets, yeah, I gotta go. There we go. I gotta go visit Patty. That's right. But yeah, we'll be back live before lock 5 p.m. today. It's going to be an aggressive one. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. And then, we get a busy week of content. We get another episode of Hoop Sense dropping on Thursday. Oh, I forgot to plug. I put it in the Discord, but I was on if you go to the Raptors Republic YouTube channel, I was on Buckets and Tea again. Third appearance over there. That was a really fun episode that posted over the weekend. So if you missed that, go check that out. Go give them a little bit of love. But I thought it was a good one. All right. I got to get the doggo out. Then I got to go get a pump on. You know what I'm saying? Well, pump on. Have a good start to the week, guys. We'll see you for live before long.